Welcome to Rising Above Shadows of Abuse. Rasa. Your host Grace how has the history of drug trafficking in Colombia shaped its current social and political landscape?
I would like that Lucho share the screen because I would like to show you something. I'm going to ask you, look, this is another example of resilience and community, right? First of all, as we mentioned before, we have an internal armed conflict for more than 60 years. So we have guerrilla groups like the FARC, that is the Revolutionary Armed Force of Colombia, in ELN, that is the National Liberation Army. And also there are paramilitary groups that are groups apart from the army, but they are rely on drugs regimes and to fund their operation exacerbating violence. So this is our historical context. This man is Pablo Escobar, and we are famous around the world because of this man, Pablo Escobar. He was the leader of the Medellin cartel, the drug cartel of Medellin. And the men in the right are Los Rodriguez Orejuela, they are brothers, and they were the leaders of the Cali cartel. So there was a war, the cartel war, that it was during the 1980s and 1990s. And it was terrible. It was the worst situation in all the history of Colombia because there were bombs assassinating people. It was terrible. There was an escalation of violence in armed conflict, kidnapping people, journalists, politicians, civil community, people in general. So, Lucho, the next, please. Imagine, this is our ex-former president. There was a new word, a new term that we use in Spanish, that is the narco-democracy, because the cartels, drug trafficking was immersed in the politics. So imagine, we had a president who was put in the presidency because of the narcos. They decide who was our president. Imagine that. So I don't want to talk more about that. And our economy was a legal economy. There was a lot of money in the country. You can imagine the amount of money that we had. But it makes the rural areas depend on Coca. So they don't have more development. They didn't have anything more than Coca, just cultivation of Coca. So there was a rural dependency on Coca. It was our historical context. And of course, it makes that the corruption and the institutions were weakness. There was a weakness in the institutions, in the legal institutions, because of corruption, because of injustice, because of the selective assassinations. And of course, it has economic consequences to our country, right? As it causes a social impact in our country. It was terrible.
Wow. So that's the cultural impact. If you want more on this topic, kindly send an email to risingaboveshadowsofabuse@gmail.com. Thank you.